The first teacher who's really made my IB experience memorable and who has really supported me throughout would have to be Miss Thea, who was in charge of the whole kind of IB process, from the examinations to just general support and advice. She's always really been there for me.
She had helped me a lot during my IB study. She taught me in chemistry as well, but during my IB, she really helped me and supported me.
Because she's supportive, she always has time to help me. I used to not believe that I can do HR chemistry, but she gave me the mindset that I can do it, I can fight through it.
As my IB coordinator, she helped me a lot and she gave me a sense of structure in my IB experience, which was very chaotic.
Miss Thea, because of how hard she's worked, being the head of IB, the head of chemistry, and just the amount of effort that she's put in for both me and the rest of our class.
Miss Thea has supported all of the IB students and she has helped us a lot.
And the way that she taught really was very easy for me to understand.
Miss Thea, because she helped with my EE and me in general with IB.
Miss Vicky, although I never really learned with her, I had her as my tutor during year 11. She was always someone I could talk to.
Miss Vicky, she taught me computer science back in IGCSE, and back then I really had like very strong passion for computer science.
Another teacher is Mr. Matt. Although we never see eye to eye, he keeps pushing me to finish my artwork.
The next teacher is Mr. Matt from art, and Mr. Matt is, to be honest, like on the outside he seems like a very strict teacher, and he's always just like nagging on us to finish art, because obviously we didn't listen to him at the start of year 12, and in year 13 we were just like stressing about getting everything done before the exhibition. So I understand why he did that, but also like I see some sides of him that is like very, caring. He cares about every single one of us and made my experience with art very enjoyable.
Another teacher I would like to thank is Mr. Matt, who helped me find my creativity after a very long burnout.
Another of my favorite teachers was Mr. Matt, because he really understood the balance between creativity and also getting things done, and allowed us to explore creative arts beyond maybe what the syllabus would expect in IB.
One of my favorite teachers, Mr. Paul, because since Miss Emery left, he helped me transition all the way through in doing my IA and extended essays and stuff. And overall, he's just a nice teacher who is non-judgmental.
One of my favorite teachers were Mr. Paul, because he's always very supportive. Definitely one of the most supportive teachers I've ever had. Also during the exams, he was always ready to see how we did after the exam, ready at the door.
One of my favorite teachers is Mr. Paul. He teaches psychology, and to be honest, since the start of learning psychology, I think it was very challenging because there were like many complicated studies and like terminologies and stuff. But Mr. Paul is really good at making everything just like seem easier.
It's Mr. Paul, because he was always very supportive and had a lot of knowledge and resources that he gave us throughout the course as well.
Mr. Paul, because although he's one of the newest teachers and I've spent the least time with him, I could tell that he truly cared about us as a class and cared about our education.
Every time I have a problem, I can go and talk to him. I know that he's always there for me.
Miss Ariane, as even though she gives very much homework, she is very supportive and she's always ready to help her students, and she really wants her students to succeed.
Because she acts like a mom, I'm close to her. I usually talk about my problems to her, and she helped me giving life advice and work advice.
Mr. Daniel, because he always made the lessons fun and entertaining by having a very dry and very direct sense of humor.
Although math is the most stressful subject in IB, however, he supports me, he motivates me when I'm doing really bad in the beginning of year 12, and I really enjoy his lesson because he's really chill and nice and relaxed.
Mr. Daniel, because of all the work that he's put in and the amount of time I've spent with him, almost my entire time at S107.
Mr. Daniel, for making my maths, as I was struggling in the beginning doing HL, but then he made my maths go smoother at the end, and I hopefully get the result that we both wish for.
And Mr. Daniel is really funny.
My next favorite teacher is Kru Pat because she's Thai, I'm Thai. We both discuss about life issues and global issues, politics and stuff.
And she prepares me for my exams really well, so I wasn't that stressed with Thai. She's also very caring, very kind.
Miss Pat helped me with a lot with university stuff.
Mr. Caleb's been my favorite teacher because he's been with me during IGCSE and IB. Film is what I want to pursue, so he gives me advice and pushes me through.
I would like to highlight Mr. Caleb because he greeted us every morning with a smile. He was the best form tutor I could ever imagine.
Another one of my favorite teacher is Mr. Caleb Schaffer. I really like the way that he's a very chill teacher and very good at giving useful advice, but also being very honest about it.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Caleb because he is the coolest form teacher.
My favorite teacher, Mr. Caleb, because he's always encouraged me to be more productive.
Mr. Caleb because he's always make people laugh, and yeah, he's very supportive as well.
So I never learned with him, but he's my form tutor, and without a doubt, he's the most motivating teacher. Because of him, my IB life gets less stressed out. Now I'm able to complete IB, and I would say that one of the reasons is because of him.
I'd like to thank Mr. Caleb for trying his best to help me, whether or not the community would allow him or not.
Another big department who I'd like to thank is the Creative Arts Department, from Mr. Caleb, who's been my form tutor for the past 3 years and who has got me through the IB film course, which could be very challenging at times, but also very rewarding.
He's always gone out of his way to push me and make sure that I'm achieving my full potential.
Been an absolutely amazing form tutor and always supports us whenever we need it.
Mr. Caleb tries to push me out of my comfort zone when I was a shy student.
Mr. Caleb, as my form tutor, who made my form experience really good and helped me out throughout school.
Mr. Caleb, of course, he's my form teacher. I love him very much.
And another one of my favorite teacher is Mr. Mark Anderson. I really like the way that he teaches very professionally. He's very good at balancing students' work life and the amount of assignment that he assigns us. And I also really like the way he teaches very friendly.
Mr. Mark, as he's also very supportive and he's just a very good teacher overall.
Even though, again, very strict, his lessons were always top quality and he really understands his subject and makes me feel like I can learn something from him. The other teacher is little Mr. Ryan because in every talk lesson, even though nobody understood what he was talking about, he gave 100% effort and he really tried to make us understand the subject, and he's very passionate about it.
And my fifth favorite teacher is Mr. Rob Brown. He teaches me English and I love the way he teaches very professionally and the way that he try to give us realistic advice when it comes to passing the subject. And I also really like the way that he teaches very clearly and we understand exactly what he's wanting us to do and what we should do.
Miss Steph, because she always helped with my work.
And Miss Steph, because she's always supportive and caring.
And the other teacher is Miss Steph. This is because she's always really entertaining, she's really motivating, she's really supportive.
She was very engaging and made the whole entire business lessons fun.
Miss Steph for making all my business lessons exciting and making me love the subject even more.
Miss Steph, she's nice.
Mr. David, because he always been supportive.
In year 8, he know that my English ability wasn't that good, so he motivates me as well, and he keeps telling me that I have like talent in language and tell me to not give up on learning English. He also supports me a lot throughout my IAs, my education. I really enjoy learning with him.
He taught me for 4 years and he got me through the IGCSE and hopefully the IB. He's an amazing teacher. He knows how to teach people not just the content on its own, but why we learn this content. Why is the courses teaching us these contents?
To David as well, who made business really fun and gave me some exam techniques and important skills in business.
So I like Mr. David because he helped me with the BTech assignment.
My other favorite teacher is Mr. Seb, as he always made biology class very fun.
And lastly, Mr. Seb and Mr. Jake, that funny duo together, keep stealing food from me. Yeah.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Christian. So first of all, he has been teaching me since I came to this school, and he's the one who taught me English, who taught me economics, and he's one of the reasons why I chose economics in IB. So he's a really hardworking teacher, and also I really enjoy learning with him.
Mr. Christian for giving me very valuable lessons throughout economics, through the two studies and in life in general.
One of my favorite teachers was Mr. Conor because he was extremely passionate about his subject and he always made learning really fun.
My last teacher would probably be Mr. Conor, who was always just one of my favourite teachers and someone who I'll always remember in terms of their just general classroom presence and their spirit.
Mr. Conor, because my time spent with him was truly some of the most memorable that I've had ever.
Another favorite teacher would be Mr. Rich. He always brought a lot of energy to the classroom and again was very, very passionate about his subject.
One of my favorite teachers was Mr. Rich because he always put so much effort into our class, especially during online learning with those amazing videos.
Mr. Mike is almost like a father to me in school. He helped me through times that I got really tired and times that I need to be in a rush to get something done.
He taught me for 5 years, which is over the course of my time in S1S7, and music is my passion, and he sort of opened my mind to different areas in music and different genres of music.
Another one would be Miss Erin, who gave me an outlet to express myself through sports. So when I'd get very stressed at times, it allowed me to really show that and express that.
She always makes our sport lessons interactive and fun.
She's basically the most supportive teacher I've ever had in my life. She gave the most revision material for her students to prepare for the exams.
Miss Laura is also one of my favorite teachers of all time because she taught me PE in IGCSE. And again, same as computer science, I had a very big passion for sports.
To also Mr. Mike Radcliffe, who supported me throughout my EE journey as well as all my DT coursework and IAs.